Oh my god! Stop your summons immediately! Greetings, loyal minions, beautiful humans. Welcome to the SciShow, the #1 ranked YouTube channel for people who love a bit of drama. If that's you, I appreciate you. As I just told you in dramatic slow-mo, stop any summons. We do have another gem summon challenge coming out today or tonight, depending on where you are. Just quickly, before I jump into everything else on the video, I do just need to mention again the winners to my competition. If you haven't reached out with a comment to let me know how to give you a code, please do so. I can only keep this going for a couple more days before I need to redraw and pick other winners. So we'll go through the list. Kate Hollingsworth, Seven Gonzalou, Tony Dono, Ernest Traven, Jeff Mello, Helen Mell, Terry Marie. If you haven't reached out, you haven't reached out as yet, so please do. I have responded to your original comment, so you should have a notification there. I will try that again. But yeah, if you haven't reached out within a few days, all I need is a method of contact. So whether it's messenger, email, line ID, whatever it may be, reach out to me so we can start getting this sorted because I really want to give you your prize. But if not within a few days, I do apologize, but I have to redraw because I need to get these codes out so they can be redeemed. Back to our normal programming. As we can see on the screen, this one, for anyone that doesn't know the Gem Summon Challenge, basically if you do a certain amount of summons with gems, you can then get a random 5-star hero as a bonus on top of that. So we can see the pool of 10. Now this gem summons only requires 10 summons, which is quite good. However, the heroes are not all that great. But for 10, if you were looking at doing any summons, I think there's going to be possibly a new Covenant portal out. I'm not sure if that's coming out today or tomorrow though. So yeah, we may miss that. But there's also the Alliance Moth portal. Excuse me. The Alliance Challenge Moth portal. Apparently I can't talk very well this morning. Lack of sleep, I'm going to blame. So yeah, there might be a couple of good portals there. If you do 10 summons with your gems, you get one of these heroes for free. We have a bunch of ninjas and a bunch of costumed Season 3 Valhalla heroes. Is it worth it? If you're going to do summons anyway, then yes, you're definitely going to get a 5-star as part of that 10 summons. Just be careful to make sure you're doing the summons in the correct portals. Some portals aren't eligible, so just always make sure you check before you do your summoning. Now, there's a couple of really useful ninjas in that list. Ija is amazing for any teams that have low or no healing. His fiends will just eat them apart. The ninjas are great because they do charge quite quickly, and they have that multiple charge level, which I personally like. Now, they're all pretty good offensive heroes. Not many of them make great defensive heroes as they are quite low on defense, and that charge mechanism isn't the best when it comes to defensive heroes. But yeah, definitely all of them are very strong. So I personally would probably prefer one of the ninjas than most of the Valhalla. But again, it's all random, so you can't choose. But I actually think there's some quite useful heroes there. Oniwaka, the blue ninja in the middle, is fantastic for an undispellable taunt, which as we know is handy against someone like a Bernadette. Also handy against some of those silence heroes that we see a lot of at the moment. Just be careful, some of them can dispel certain the auto taunt, but yeah, the undispellable taunt's fantastic because yeah, it just means you taunt that hit and protect your team. Apart from that, I'd say Ija is probably my pick. Chikao is good, but you don't get to pick anyway. But just know that those ninjas, they're all going to be quite useful as an attacking force on your offense teams. The costumes down the bottom, for anyone that doesn't have Lord Loki yet, fantastic. Our Freak for the Rush Wars is still quite valid. Heimdall if you need a reviver. But again, they're random, but just know they are quite decent heroes. The costume bonuses give them pretty good stats. So there's, depending on the level of your roster, if you're a big spender, most of those heroes you're not going to need because you'll already have them. But for anyone newer to the game, low spend, yeah, you're going to get yourself a reasonably decent hero. But of course, you know your own roster. Assess these options against what you have a look at them and think, oh, will I be able to fit these into a team anywhere? Are they going to improve my roster? And make that informed decision for yourself. Don't expect me to tell you what to do. I mean, if you pay me, I'll tell you what to do. But otherwise, I just try and help out and give you the information so you can make the best decision for yourself. That's the Gem Summon Challenge. Keep an eye out for that. We're also going to be looking at the Hero Coach quickly, so stick around and I'll give you some details about the Hero Coach. You may get one of these heroes and decide you need to level them up with the Hero Coach if you don't already have them. So could work hand in hand with each other. The Hero Coach is coming out, I think, 25th of September. And we'll just take a quick look at that now. For anyone out there asking, what the hell's the Hero Coach? This is what the Hero Coach does. We should all know this by now. It's a recurring event, allows you to level your legendary heroes to 490 in exchange for gems. Costumes can't be leveled up with Hero Coach, keep that in mind. After selecting a hero, the coach will show you how your hero will look. You can only select the hero to train, which is released earlier than 2 years before the start of the event. It's just a weird way of saying it needs to be older than 2 years. In the live game, you'll be able to train one hero per event. So you can see what it looks like on the screen. There's the costs there. Won't go into too much details, but 370 is probably one of the key points, depending on how many gems you have and how many gems you want to save. Depending on how many feeders you have, if you have a hero that's stuck here at 1-1, you can still train that up for 1,000 gems. But yeah, if you can manage to level up to 370, again, depending on how many feeders, it's not too bad to get to 370, and then you can get the next level, which is a really important one because you save all of those Ascension materials, the 4-star Ascension items that are hard to find, and it will only cost you 334 gems. So again, it depends on which hero you have. It's great to say you may as well do a hero that's on 1-1 or 370, but if you've got a hero at 480, and that's the one that you don't have the materials for, and you want to try and level them up, then if that's the one that's going to help your roster and you're going to use them more, then that's a choice you make based on the information you have and understanding your own roster. So I'm just going to have a look now at the heroes available. I'm not going to go through all of them. I'll just make a few mentions and look at the new ones that are available since last time. If you want to know any before that, go check out my older videos. I'll also show a couple of resources that can be really, really good. Shout out to Oxide, who has done some lists on the forum, so fantastic resource. Lists all the heroes that are available via color and also class, so that if you might have certain emblems for some classes and not others. Keep in mind there are some updates along the way. We'll just have a quick look there. So we can see there's some newer heroes there. Now, it's not set in stone because we don't know if the exact schedule will continue of the 25th of September, but have a look there. Really helps you go through those heroes. And now we'll take a look at a different list, which also can be very useful. Another fantastic resource available, and a huge thanks to Lord Stanley 94, Elioti 33 for the data and putting this together. But this shows all the heroes available, has a nice red line here to show who's going to be available and who's not. So we can see there's 477 basically that were available last time, the Hero Coach, and that's why I'm not going to go through them in too much detail, especially the older ones. Again, it's something that if you understand your roster, you should be aware of these heroes that may be useful and you haven't been able to level them. There's just so many. We're going to focus on the ones that weren't available last time and are available this time. I will make a couple of mentions. So first of all, I believe the Hero Coach is best used because they are heroes older than 2 years. I believe they're generally best used on heroes that are going to have a costume available because that costume will give it so many stat boosts. Now, what I mean by that is if you've already got the costume is the best way to use it because you can save all the resources leveling up the base hero, and then you can level your costume because it's reasonably cheap and easy, and you get a fantastic hero with, boosted stats, basically. If you don't have anyone that you think is going to be useful, then picking a hero that does have a costume available in the costume outfitter. So that's costumes older than 18 months. So that's the sort of second way you'd use it. If you just don't have anyone on your roster that already has a costume unleveled, or that you think is going to be useful, then you can pick a hero from this list that will then have a costume available when the outfitter comes around. And the other shout out I wanted to make is for the more Lovia heroes. So I think there's Alucard, Francine, Vanya, and Victor, who just recently got a huge costume increase. So if you have those heroes sitting in your roster with a costume, they are now, the team powers are close to the brand new hero. So very worthwhile doing most of those. I think all of those costumes will be available in the outfitter apart from Alucard. And just for anyone that doesn't know, Alucard backwards is Dracula. There you go. Anyway, that's just a shout out to those heroes. Keep those in mind. We're just going to run through this list now of the new heroes available. Alfred is fantastic if you have the costume. So again, that costume will be available, but in the Rush Wars, Alfred is still very, very good depending on the level of your play. Ceto, if you have the costume, will be worthwhile. Decent hero, immune to insanity. So there's a few options here. Thorn, any of the original heroes that now have the glass or toons, if you have their costumes and you haven't leveled them yet, this is a great way to level up that base costume and then help you out with leveling the costumes, because you can level them nice and easy. There's a few there. Aradia, there's a few that have been available recently in either the Soul Exchange or Fated Summons. They're not all that great in my opinion, some of them, but a Brimstone is an example. If you've picked them up, now you'll be able to level him nice and easy if you haven't already. Who else do we have? Ano is a fantastic healer if you have the costume, so that's a great option there. Elena, another toon/glass if you have all those. Kalervo is quite handy with his mindless attack or whatever it's called. Again, if you have the costume. So like I mentioned earlier, I would generally only use this on a hero you have a costume for or can get a costume for very easily. Octros is another one that was available in Soul Exchange. Ullius has been huge in that league tournament at the moment, but outside of that, you wouldn't use him a great deal. Blossom is a pretty solid healer still. Excuse me. Keeping in mind any of the construct heroes like Blossom that may be getting a costume. They don't have costumes yet, but there's new construct heroes coming out, so that family may even get some sort of bonus at some point. Norns with a costume can be quite useful against Titans or Mythic Titans. Again, it all comes down to your level of roster. Luna can be handy against, excuse me, the Treasure Quest. This is the problem. There are so many heroes. Darkfeather would be a great one. We know what his skill does, especially against Titans, Mythic Titans as well. Got some other goblins in there. Smart Tongue is quite good if you don't have a Wither. Cardinal Richelieu, another one that's available in Soul Exchange. Roachfoot. We go all the way down the list there. Now, Gestalt may not actually be available. If we just scroll over to his release date, it is the 27th of September. Even Ratatoska on the 25th. These last ones, they may not make the cutoff depending on exactly when it comes out. Gestalt would be a great option, again, especially if you have the costume. I really do like Gestalt. Another hero that's resistant to insanity with that costume. So yeah, they're the ones we have. I've mentioned, I think, most of the ones I feel would be useful in either in general or specifically. Ariax was another one in Fated Summons. But really it comes down, it's so hard. As we can see here, there's 520 heroes available. So to be going through, without understanding your roster. So that's why I try to give that general information of if you've got a costumed hero and you haven't leveled them yet, as in you haven't leveled the base version, then definitely a good thought to do that with the hero coach. I think that's all I've got to say. I'd love to go into more detail, but it would literally take hours, so no one wants that. Remember to use the hero coach. Don't let it go to waste. If you've got the gems, I'm sure you've got someone on your roster that you will be able to level up and be useful to you. So keep that in mind. As always, if you enjoy what I'm doing, remember to gently press the subscribe button. We're actually moving up to 3,000. I don't personally celebrate the milestones, but I like celebrating with you and for you. You've all made this possible. So if I ever get to a milestone like a 3,000, which is coming up, it's all because of you. And I want you to celebrate for jumping on board, supporting, and promoting the heck out of me, sharing it with everyone you know, as I'm sure you all do. So yeah, appreciate you all, as always. Give your kitty a scritch for me. Have a bloody good one.